Hey guys, Dave with Moniology here. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. It's been about a month since we did the last review of the uranium sector, and these videos have been our most popular by far. So I wanted to take a look at what's taking place in the space today. So starting with Cameco, the leader in this particular index or this particular sector, Cameco has been absolutely on fire. It's up about 25 to 27% this year, and it built a base for about 12 months here, and it finally broke out of that base with 50-week moving average moving higher. Just as an aside, these are all weekly perspectives, so a little bit longer term. If you're trading these, obviously you want to look at daily and hourly or whatever your framework is, but this is for longer term investors. For longer term investors, it's approaching resistance here at that 200-week moving average at 1178. We pulled back some here, so you want to see some consolidation, but ultimately I think that this is getting ready for breaking out. Look at the accumulation in the sector. That's definitely what you want to see, and I think that there's a lot of upside here in Cameco. Dennison Mines, DNN, still basing. You don't see the same sort of breakout as we see in Cameco, but what you do see is the PPO starting to make a move towards a break above zero. So for us to go long this particular position, you want to see a solid close on a weekly basis above 50, and that's one trigger to go long. Another trigger is above that 60 level. Breaks that 60 level, then that's your sign that it definitely wants to make a run towards the 200 moving average at 75 and possibly much higher. This is the moving average that you want to see a break to confirm a long-term move is indeed in place versus just a short-term bounce. Encore Energy, this is one that's very volatile, but at the same time it has tremendous potential. It looks like it wants to move, but I've said that for the last, I'd say 12 months. At some point that's going to be right. It hasn't happened yet, but when it does break above this 6 level, it's likely going to make a move towards 10 in no time, followed by a move possibly towards 15 and much higher if indeed this sector is ready to move on a fundamental basis. Energy Fuels, another one that's actually been one of the better charts here. It broke out of this long-term downtrend since 14. It's consolidated here above this breakout point, and now it's consolidating here. As I pointed out when I did this last video, I said the target in the short run is 2, and here we are, and I think it's going to break above 2 with the next target of 3, and followed by that 409 of the 200-day moving average. You got the PPO strong, you've got finally a positive money flow, and you've got some accumulation starting to take place. Really like that one. Fission Uranium doesn't look so strong here, but it's still consolidating up and down here for the last basically 3 years. So for this to be a solid breakout, you want it to see move above 70. And if it does do so, that's your sign to go long, and probably very hard. But it looks like it's coming. You got PPO starting to curl above 0. It's starting to make higher lows from 34 to 40 to 43 to 45. So long as these lows continue to build a powerful base, I think that's going to be very positive. Now looking at the URA ETF, I don't see it here on the weekly, but let's look at it from a monthly perspective. That'll give us definitely a 30,000 foot view of what's taking place. For basically since 2015, we've just been going up and down, but right now we've got momentum here at 48 on the RSI. Is at the same level when we were at 16 and 18, and so I think that there is this positive momentum being built, and I think that this is setting the stage for a major breakout in the coming months ahead in this sector. Definitely something you want to keep an eye out for. Look at the stochastics, the black over the red. Looks like momentum is definitely taking shape here. Gabby X Uranium, GXU, this one trades on the Canadian exchange. Don't see anything right now that suggests that this one's ready to move, but if it breaks above the 50-week moving average at around 22 cents, perhaps that'll change, and that can change very quickly. Mega Uranium, this is basically a shell company for NextGen Energy. This one looks like it's setting up for a very good move. I mean, you'll see this in the NextGen stock in a chart in a second, but it had a very strong move off of 10 cents, and it found some resistance right below the 50-week moving average around 13.5 cents, but now it's starting to move back higher. It's fine. It's building solid momentum here on RSI, and looks like it wants to make a run towards that break above 50. PPO starting to curl. I like this particular play. I think this could make a run towards 25 and much higher in the coming months ahead. Why? Well, here's the company that Mega is basically a shell company for, NextGen. It's been consolidating since 2017. Look at this move since 2015, whereas most uranium companies have been getting killed. This one, on the other hand, has just been moving up and up and up, and now it's been consolidating here, and it looks like it wants to break higher soon. So far it's found resistance at the 50 RSI level, but I see a lot of positive divergence where we're higher today at $2 than when we were at price points much higher. So if you can break above the 50 RSI level, that'll be a sign that indeed this is looking to make at least a move towards 3, and then possibly much higher. The fundamentals of this company are spectacular. It's best in class. Look at the volume here in terms of accumulation, and look at PPO. Looks like it wants to make a move above 0. A couple more charts here. Sky Harbor Resources, still consolidating here. Another one that has good fundamentals, and PPO is moving towards a break above 0. It's struggling to break above 50. It needs to break above 50 for this to be a buy. It's finding resistance around that 50 EMA level at 32, but I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Definitely one you want to have on your radar. URA Energy, URG, another one that broke out of this downtrend since 14, and it's been consolidating here. It's firmly above the 50-week moving average. It's above the 200-week moving average. Very positive signs here. You want to see in the coming weeks that the 50 cross the 200 will be further technical ammunition, but this looks like it's setting up for a move towards 90 and a break eventually, and make a run towards that $2 zone. I really like this particular name. Uranium Energy Corp, UEC, another one with a great management and good fundamental story. Looks like this wants to make a move above $2 and make a run towards 3 here sooner rather than later. PPO is above 0. This one's really setting up for a very strong move. If you're going to own this sector, this is a name you definitely want to consider. Here's the Uranium Weekly. Nothing to see here in terms of short-term. It's just been in a basically consolidative range, but it closed the week above the 50 RSI level. That's very important. PPO closed above 0, and I think that this is setting up for a move at least towards 1750, which would be a very solid 20-30% move, but I think ultimately this 200 moving average needs to break to the upside. I think it's setting up to do it hopefully this time around. If not this time around, then very soon thereafter. Western Uranium Corp, not seeing much here to talk about. It had a very strong volume candle, but a shooting star. It couldn't hold the gains. Don't know the fundamentals of this company, so obviously do your due diligence. But from a technical standpoint, unless it can break above that 60 middle Bollinger Band level at 60, it's basically in a very weak technical formation. Finally here, Westwater Resources. This one's kind of technically dead as well. I own this. We got hammered here, got stopped out. I thought this was getting ready to break out here, and it didn't happen. So first, you want to see this break above 62.50 to suggest that it might have some signs of life. Ultimately, you want to see a break above the 50-week moving average at 111, and then maybe it'll find legs. But until then, this one is not one of the strongest in the sector, and probably the weakest chart of the 17 that we looked at here. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and hopefully these were helpful. If you like the work that we do, please check us out at patreon.com/Moniology, StockTwits at Moniology, Twitter at Moniology, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Moniology. We've been a little bit, kind of behind on the videos here over the last couple months. I've been studying for level 3 of the CFA, so that's been taking up a lot of our time. But shortly after June, we will come back and in full force. So I appreciate your patience and your support. Have a great week.